Hey guys, I'm back for another video, and today I'm here for another Hypixel SkyBlock tutorial. And something that I've been getting a lot of requests for lately is just generally how to progress in the game. Now, I have tutorials for all sorts of things like money making methods, the fastest way to level up skills, minions, whatever, but I haven't made a video on just the fastest way to start the game. And not only start the game, but if you're stuck, let's say you stopped playing like 8 months ago, whatever, and you're just coming back and you want to know how to get up to date with everything, this guide will still apply. I've basically discovered a way to go from any stage of the game, including literally day one, and then getting caught up to the point where you can participate in the rest of the game instead of stumbling around, not knowing what to do, not being able to make any coins, and just being confused. Well, anyways, let's get right into it. Okay, so the first step is you're going to want to unlock the Bazaar, which everything looks like me because Nick Hyder. But that being said, you're going to need to get farming 7, foraging 7, and mining 7. I would suggest going for mining 7 first. So grab a pickaxe, mine some coal, get to 250 collection because you're going to need that later. Head back, craft yourself, I don't know, golden shovel would be nice. Using the XP you just got from the coal, enchant the shovel with efficiency 2. Break some wheat over here until you get the appropriate farming level to make it to the mushroom desert. And of course, get yourself to farming 7, which will unlock here. Then break sand with your shovel until you get to mining 7. And then of course, you can use the coins actually that you get from this to buy yourself a jungle axe, which will just make things a bit faster. And then you can chop some trees in the hub, oak for example. Now, if you have the patience to actually get a jungle axe from the auction house, obviously you can grab one. There doesn't seem to be any on bin, so you'd have to, you know, just win them in a regular auction for a couple thousand coins, which is easy enough to get from sand. But if you're too lazy to do that, obviously you can just go the route I'm going right now for example purposes and get yourself a golden axe. Get efficiency on it, whatever. And once you've broken enough logs, obviously you've unlocked the Bazaar. Simple as that, whatever. And then you're going to need to prepare for probably one of the coolest cheeses in all of Hypixel SkyBlock history. So what you're going to need to do is afford yourself enough coin to purchase teleport pads and a personal compactor talisman on the auction house. So the quickest way that I found to do that would be to go to NPCs and flip certain items at the Bazaar. And if you don't know what that means, let's say you head into rocks and bricks over at the builder merchant, buy yourself the max amount of packed ice, regular ice, sell it to Bazaar. I would actually recommend creating a sell offer instead of selling instantly, but for the example purposes in this video, sell. Goodbye. And you can do the same thing with all sorts of items, and for the most part with a lot of these, the price that you can buy them for is actually less than what they earn you if you sell them in the Bazaar. Some of the best examples time and time again is ice, flint, glowstone, oak wood. Now just check the prices before you start spending money on things you don't know about. You would probably lose money on most of those items. I believe the adventure NPCs items, let me see before I speak too soon here. Ooh, see, that would actually lose you money if you bought it for 8 coins and sold it for 4.4. So keep that in mind. Gunpowder would be a very slight profit. But anyways, yeah, flip all the NPC items into the Bazaar to make a little bit of extra coin. And then what you can actually do, again, if you have the patience, is buy some ender pearls. So I just bought a stack there. Should be more than enough to do what I'm about to say. If you get your combat level to, I think it's 5, then you get access to the Spider's Den. And at the Spider's Den, there's actually a quest that you can participate in to get some really easy coin in the early game. Now we're gonna head over to, I believe it's over here, the Archaeologist. Yes, there's a quest he has where you can look for relics all throughout the island. Using your ender pearls, you can actually, you know, teleport over to them. There's guides all over YouTube on finding the locations for all of these, but just as an example so you know what you're looking for, one of them is right here. This is a relic, and for each relic you get 10,000 coins. Now in total there are 28 of them, and you get a 30,000 coin reward for completing the quest for a total of 310 1,000 coins just for doing that right at the start of the game. It's pretty sick. Now, that being said, you are going to need to buy a personal compactor talisman, which is 600,000 coins on the auction house and 80,000 coins worth of teleport pads. So how are you going to afford that? You're only about halfway there. So to get the other half of the way, you could do all sorts of things, one of which would be, you know, mining sand until you get enough. Just do the thing I said before, mine sand, fill your inventory, sell it to Bazaar, rinse and repeat, whatever. You can do that all the way to 680k, or you can actually follow a guide that I made on how to Bazaar flip. The concept is really simple. Just as an example for the video, I haven't done it in months, but I already know how to do it. It's basically buy low, sell high. So create a buy order. As you can see, 0.8 coins, if I were to do that, would be the top order. So custom amount 10 whatever, top order plus 0.1, boom, buy order created. Wait until the buy order goes through, and there you go, the order's through. Then I can collect it, click back in, create sell offer, best offer minus 0.1, and as you can see, I bought 1024 redstone for 819.2 coins and sold them for 1115.1 coins. Now it's going to take a little bit for this to go through, but that's the basics of it. Doing that with small unenchanted items, you could do it with much higher quantities of these items. For example, 71,680 is the maximum if you wanted to do that for whatever reason. There you go, the redstone sold. So you can do this at scale, make a ton of money. I made a tutorial on all the different strategies for Bazaar flipping, so would highly recommend you check that out. All right, you can also auction house flip, which I might as well leave a card in the top right as well. A really common one that Guild was telling me to talk about for this video was just combining Ultimate Wise books and then flipping those. The basic concept would be that, let's say you take 115,000 coins. Let's say you take 16 of these at that price, combine them together, sell it for more than what you spent on each book when selling the Ultimate Wise 5, if that makes sense. But there's all sorts of other strategies on flipping in the Bazaar and auction house, so again, links in the cards. Okay, so assuming that you've done that, you then need to set up a classic for Hypixel SkyBlock, and that is a Cobblestone Generator. So I'm gonna actually head over to my stranded profile here to show that off. What you need in order to actually do this strategy is prepare yourself an efficiency 5 golden pickaxe. Now again, this should be really cheap. There's actually a trick where if you were to enchant a pickaxe with efficiency 1 and then take an efficiency 1 book and then combine it in the anvil, it doesn't cost any XP to upgrade it to efficiency 2, I believe. There's some weird whatever. Anyways, get yourself an efficiency 5 golden pickaxe, and using the 250 coal collection that you just got, make yourself a haste potion. So from the Bazaar, purchase, I don't know, you could probably get the coal on your own, but to upgrade it, I would purchase an enchanted glowstone dust to get it to haste 3, and then get some enchanted redstone if you like to make it an 8-minute potion. And then you build yourself a cobblestone generator. I'm going to leave another card in the top right showing off a video where I made one of these. The concept's really simple, honestly. You just have 5 blocks where there's lava behind this cobble, water flowing down, and then you run. So this is where you put your teleport pads. You purchase them from the auction house, put one in the front, one in the back, have the one in the back lead to the one in the front, and then make sure that the direction is preserved when you teleport. Brew yourself the haste potions. Now let's see if I have any. Oh, as these potions are finishing up, I should probably also say that you can find these in the auction house. People tend to sell them. So if you're too lazy to actually make the potions, you could probably just buy one for a couple thousand coins. But anyways, I have one. So then you just look up, and as you can see, once you build the generator, point straight up and have a efficiency 5 golden pickaxe with haste 3, you can insta-mine cobblestone. Now here's the thing, a recent change was made with the Crimson Isles update that counts cobblestone as an ore. So what this basically allows you to do is take advantage of the milestone pet system. This is a system built into SkyBlock where when you mine an ore, it will give you 1 point towards progressing towards getting a pet. In this case, a rock. So you get rock pets based on how many ores you've mined. What was I saying? Oh, and the personal compactor is necessary because it really just it speeds things up. All right, you don't want to be doing this process to the point where it fills your whole inventory with cobble and then you just have to compress it all. I mean, you can, but getting the coins does not take that long, considering flipping is very, very simple and easy once you get it down. But yeah, getting a personal compactor, putting an enchanted cobble, which by the way requires the recipe, so mine 1,000 cobblestone before you do that, but it's, you know, fast process, whatever. And the teleport pads, again, you don't technically need them. You could just go like this and then just go back and then go forward and then go back, but it's just faster to have this here. Now what you want to do here is not actually a money-making method in itself. You know, getting cobblestone is a way to get coin, which is great, but the real value here again comes from those milestone pets. So now the cobblestone counts as an ore. You don't need to mine all that much. It's about 24.4 stacks of enchanted cobble, and once you've done that, you actually would be rewarded with every tier of rock pet all the way up to legendary. So you're going to get common at first. I actually suggest that you keep the common one and then just use it, level it up to 100, I guess, if you want. But uncommon, rare, epic, legendary, you're going to want to sell those to an NPC named George. So if we head to the hub, George is over here. You can sell pets to him, including the rock. So here's the crazy part. If you were to sell every rarity of rock to George, he will give you a total of 13,050,000 coins. Absolutely freaking insane. Now what I suggest you do with the cobblestone that you acquired, just craft a haste ring with it. You're gonna need the talisman later anyways, but then you can sell the rest to Bazaar to get another 700,000 coins, which is absolutely freaking ridiculous. So you're gonna make almost 14 million coins right off the bat, and again, it's only 24.5 stacks of enchanted cobble. That's only a maximum of 3 hours. And the thing is, right, I've done this so many times. What you can do is go into your controls, swap out your attack button for the space bar, just walk into the generator, hold W to go forward in the space bar, and you don't even have to have a hand on the mouse. And you could just watch movies while you do that, whatever. Don't even have to be paying attention while generating those 24.5 stacks of enchanted cobble. It's absolutely freaking ridiculous. So that's the big progression tip number 1 leading up to that. So anyways, all of that led up to getting 13, almost 14 million coins, and you literally just started your profile like 3 hours ago. Not even. Now here's what I suggest to do with the coin. You should buy yourself a glaciite armor set and reforge it to pure. This is going to be your early game damaging set, I guess you could say. So we go here, glaciite, lowest bin, there you go. So buy yourself a full set of this. It's quite good for mining. You're going to use it as your mining armor, but it's also just good in general for keeping you alive. And if you were to give it pure, it is an epic set, which means you get some pretty decent reforges, which is nice overall. Next up, I would actually suggest that you buy a griffin pet, a common one specifically, level 1. They're only about 80,000 coins, 88,000 coins. And a spooky cupcake. Now, you actually don't need to buy the spooky cupcake right away, but I would suggest it eventually. This gives you 30 strength and 20 speed, which is quite nice. But I would save it for later, because right now I think you would be much better suited with a combat EXP boost for your griffin pet, 30%, for 70,000 coins at the moment on the auction house. But yeah, it would be fairly good. It's probably the best value pet in the game for how cheap it is. That being said, I would also suggest heading to the Bazaar, going into the Reforged Stones category, or what is it, Power Stones? And then buy yourself 8 Beating Hearts, which, as of writing the script, getting 9 of these was about 230,000 coins. You can head over to the Thaumaturgist, Maxwell, and then unlock learn the power from beating hearts, and then get yourself bloody, which is probably, again, the best value for the coin. It gives you a ton of strength and crit damage, as well as a little bit of intelligence, which is nice. But yeah, that's probably your best bet when it comes to talisman reforges. And then I would also suggest buying yourself an Aspect of the End in AOTE, simply because it is not only a good starting weapon in terms of damage, it's okay, but most of the value comes from its utility. Just the fact that you can teleport with it, it's quite good. I would also stress that you probably could benefit from getting 2 transmission tuners. These guys are a bit more expensive, but again, you have 14 million coins. Just freaking do it. It'll increase the range of the teleport by 1 block each. You can buy 2 of them, so I'd highly recommend having 2 of those. Get the sword on sharp reforge for highest amount of crit chance, and give us some basic enchantments. Now, that being said, your enchantment level is literally nothing if you're just starting out, so you might not be able to do that. Oh, here's a big one. With a big chunk of those coins you just got, you're going to need to buy a booster cookie. It's 3 million coins at the moment, quite expensive, as well as a god pot. They're like 600,000 coins. I know, 3.6 million coins for a cookie and a potion. What the hell? Well, the thing is, the god potion basically makes you a freaking beast. You're gonna have the maximum speed at all times. I have almost 400% speed, but yeah, you're gonna have a ton of speed. You're going to have a ton of damage, just because, again, all these freaking potion effects, regeneration, health buffs, what have you. And the cookie buff will award you bits over time, which you could then use to actually purchase items that you can sell on the auction house. For example, more god potions. And if you get your fame level high enough, you actually would profit from the bits that you get from booster cookie. I know it's complicated, but again, if you're new to SkyBlock, just know that you're going to get this currency called bits just by playing the game while under the effects of the booster cookie. You could then turn around, buy these items, sell them in the auction house, use the money to buy another cookie, and repeat the cycle. Now, having booster cookies active is great because it gives you all these benefits: more skill XP, more magic find, you don't lose coins on death, you get to use /AH and /Bazaar anywhere you go, Anvil, E-Table, and it just goes on and on and on. And playing the game without cookie buff and god potion is just painful, so I would highly recommend it. It's worth the coins, and it's a cost that really, I mean, you're gonna have cookie buff for 4 days. You're gonna have the god potion effect for 24 hours of playtime. These things last a long freaking time. Well, actually, it depends on your alchemy level with the god potion, but getting your alchemy level up is not that expensive anyways. Now, I should probably also note, if you want to really progress quickly, you could also just go into the Hypixel Store and buy booster cookies with the gems. If you're gonna do that, use code ThirtyVirus while checking out. It gives me a slight commission, which is nice. Doesn't cost any extra to you, but again, that is optional. Now, you should have spent about 5 mil out of the 14-ish that you've earned so far. I would suggest spending another 5 million of the remaining coins on getting as many talisman as possible. Start at the cheapest, for example, these, work your way up. I made a tutorial on how to get every talisman in the game and in what order by price. So if you want to do that, if you want to start that process, I would highly recommend clicking the video in the cards. It's essential for damage. You're going to need as many talismans as you can freaking get, and 5 mil will go a long ways. A lot of talismans are fairly cheap. So there you go. So you've gotten yourself a Glaciite armor set. You've gotten yourself an AOTE, Common Griffin, Combat XP boost, Bloody Reforge. You're doing pretty dang good. Oh, not to mention, hopped up on a god potion, and you don't lose coins on death or the potion effects on death. It's freaking OP. Now you're going to need to get your combat up. One of the most frequently asked questions in my chat is how to get to combat 24 quickly so that people can get to the Crimson Isles Island. This is a place that you can only get to with the combat requirement. So how do you quickly get to the Crimson Isles? This is the second massive jump in progression, and it is through a system called Bestiary. So if you don't know what Bestiary is, if you head over to your skills, combat, Bestiary, you will see a bunch of islands. For example, let's go to the hub. Let's say you kill a zombie villager or 10 zombie villagers. It'll give you a Bestiary milestone. So that's what the progress is down here. I have tier 7 coming up next, which requires killing 1,500 zombie villagers. Don't worry, the numbers are very, very low at the start. But basically, the Bestiary system is a way to get free combat experience. So let me explain. Again, to get to combat 24 for Crimson Isles, you need 2.3 million total combat XP. And Bestiary, eventually, once you get to, I believe it's Bestiary level 18, it'll start to award you with 1 million combat experience upon getting a multiple of 10 in milestones. As you can see, me getting to 52 will award 1 million combat experience. Now that starts at 18. So 10 Bestiary tiers equals 1 milestone. You're going to need to get to Bestiary 20, which is 200 tiers. And that sounds insane, but it's really not. So you got to kill a mob X number of times. It'll award you with a tier. 10 of those tiers will unlock a milestone. 20 milestones equals the amount of combat experience required to get to Crimson Isles and the combat requirement for a lot of weapons and armor in the game. It's very important. So where would I suggest starting? Well, if you are in the hub, wait until nighttime, kill enough zombie villagers, get 2 or 3 tiers from killing them. Once you get into like the 500 mob range, it starts to not really be worth it anymore. And once you've done that, you do have some pretty good armor and weapons now, so you could actually head to the deep caverns. There's all sorts of mobs here. For example, you got mining skeletons, mining zombies, lapis zombies, redstone pigmen, slimes, emerald slimes, sneaky creepers. These mobs are ridiculously easy. They're pushovers for the amount of equipment that you have. So getting like 3 or 4 tiers of every single one of these mobs should be a literal cakewalk. You only have to kill like 300 of each mob. And again, each one of these mobs you can get 3 to 4 tiers from probably. And what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's like 6 mobs, so that's like 24. That's more than 10% of the milestones you need to get to the combat level right there. And I mean, there's all sorts of mobs all throughout SkyBlock. If you want my other suggestions on which ones are also the easiest, you could get yourself to the Dwarven Mines relatively quickly, and that has its own set of mobs that are also pushovers. For example, there's the Treasurite people, there's goblins, which do a little bit more damage. But anyways, get yourself to 200 milestones of Bestiary, and you should boost your way all the way up to combat 24. Once you've done that, you can actually upgrade your main weapon from the aspect of the end to the Ragnarok axe. This is an inexpensive but also annoying to unlock in the beginning of the game because combat 24 requirement weapon that does 250 base damage and gives 170 strength. At the moment, the lowest bin is 140k. It's an obvious grab. You should grab one of these. It'll do way more damage than your aspect of the end, and since you just got to combat 24, you have the requirement, you can use it. Great. Reforge it to sharp. I would also, there's a gemstone slot in there, so if you want to spend like 30k extra, you can head in here, give it a fine jasper gemstone for 40,000 coins, which would give you a little boost in damage there, which would be great. A little boost in strength, I should say. I would also say it's worth putting a hot potato books on, 10 of them. Yeah, enchanted to the best of your ability, of course. And now I think would be a good time to replace the combat XP boost item on your Griffin for the spooky cupcake, because by now, getting the combat 24, that amount of XP should mean that your pet is around level 90, 92, something like that. So you can probably get away with adding the spooky cupcake and getting even more, what is it, 30 strength? Yeah, it's pretty freaking good. Now, that being said, you also probably should look into doing the fairy souls. Now, if you're using Bad Light Client like I am, you can head into SkyBlock, and then you can do fairy soul waypoints, and it'll show up all over the freaking place. And by this point, you should have an AOTE, so it should be fairly quick. You can actually get every fairy soul in the game in about an hour. It's not too bad But yeah, you can get past all the mobs. You don't have to worry about getting killed because, again, you have a booster cookie, so it doesn't really matter if you die. And it's pretty easy to avoid the mobs. Just click on every fairy soul and then go to Tea of the Fairy, redeem them all. You'll get a ton of effective health. Now, I know that feature is probably going to get replaced in 1.0 with something else, but at the moment, that's the best thing to do. And I would also stress getting yourself to Enchanting 10 if you haven't already by this point. Now, it should be easy enough because you're enchanting your armor and your weapon. Get to Enchanting 10, make an experimentation table, put it down on your island, use bits from your booster cookie if you have to retry the thing. Again, if you're using Badline Client, then you will have access to solvers, which will just make the minigames a lot easier, and it will maximize your boosts. For example, if I were to click onto this, my solver is going to show whatever. Do this as soon as possible. Get your dailies in as soon as possible because your damage, more or less at this point, depends on how much enchanting experience that you get. You're going to get a freaking ton from the minigame, but again, you need to maximize it because there's going to be some enchantments that you're going to need that won't function on your weapon until you have the appropriate enchanting levels. So that is very, very important to start as soon as possible. Do as many of those enchanting minigames as possible and never screw up the minigames because you're using the solvers. Finally, we're almost at the destination. Now, here's my last suggestion. I would say you should buy a base Crimson armor set. Now, you just got your Ragnarok axe, and it's fairly well maxed out by this point. Now, if we were to go on the AH and look up Crimson, a full set of this is about 3 million coins. Now, Crimson is actually the best armor set in the game, believe it or not. The thing is, it takes a ton of coins to upgrade it to the point where it actually becomes that strong. Now, for your purposes, as someone that just escaped the early game and is heading into mid game, then base Crimson armor is fine. You don't need the best of the best of the best because, again, you're only spending 3 mil in an armor set. But it has the potential to become the best in the freaking game. Now, I should also point out, especially now that you have access to Crimson Isles and you're going to be buying Crimson armor, I stress that you need to do the Matriarch quest every freaking day. Don't skip a day because then you're going to miss out on some of the benefits here. You need to get heavy pearls later in order to upgrade your Crimson armor set to more powerful tiers, fiery, hot, whatever. This is how you find the Matriarch, by the way. He's right here. I already did it today, but you just stand here, get eaten, whatever, do the minigame, get yourself 3 pearls, heavy pearls every single day. Start doing that as soon as freaking possible. Now, another thing is if you want to actually upgrade your Crimson armor that you just bought for 3 mil, then you're going to need Crimson Essence, which you can acquire. Probably the quickest way to do it would just be to buy from the AH any of these armor pieces or weapons. Taurus helmet, flaming chestplate, Mugma leggings, slug boots, blade of the volcano, and Staff of the Volcano. All of these will award Crimson Essence if you salvage them over here. And then, of course, Essence crafting, upgrade items. You put your armor pieces here, upgrade, boom. Some tiers require the heavy pearls, like I said. And there's also Kudra teeth required once you get really far into the upgrades. You're not going to need to worry about that for quite a while because, again, you're just starting out probably or just getting into the meta of the current state of SkyBlock. This is all a mouthful. Oh, and a little trick that I like to point out as well is if you can get a friend, this is like a little passive extra money making method. If you were to teleport to the skull or just find your way over to the skull on Crimson Isle, there's a little cave somewhere over here if I can find it. Oh, there it is. Jeez, it took me like 5 minutes to find it. Here you go. Anyways, if you find this cave right next to the skull, then you can actually, if you bring a friend over here, there's a spider, hello, called Ariana. If you bring a friend to Ariana with no armor, walk into her, dies, you will be awarded with an item called Chime. It's actually a pet XP boost, kind of like a carrot candy, but it doesn't have a limit, so you can use it just unlimited times. You can get one of those per day. Bring a friend in there, feed each other to the spider. You both get an item that you can sell for about 600k on the auction house right now. Seems massively overpriced considering how easy it is to get. But there you go. I'm not exaggerating, by the way. Chime, for some reason, sells for quite a freaking lot. Chime. Right now, 500,000's lowest spin. But for the amount of effort it takes to get, it's literally 1 million coins between you and your friend per day. Just for free. So, it's worth doing. All right, so if you did everything that I said in this video, then here's the results. You should be able to pretty much access any island in SkyBlock, be able to do most things. You can access most of the game. By the way, now is about the time you could probably start with Slayers. Zombie, Spider, and Wolf levels 1 through 5 should be a literal freaking breeze. Like, you'd sneeze on the mobs and they'd freaking die. With this gear, I mean, Crimson with Ragnarok Axe, are you freaking serious? You won't even need to buy the armor and weapons from those Slayers to complete up to, I'd say up until tier 5, just to get a reasonable amount of gear and recipes. It'd be helpful to get a power orb, maybe a healing wand. Obviously, bat phone would be nice. That sort of thing. Oh, and the talismans, as well as the upgrades along the way. Important. You may be able to handle tier 2 Enderman if you get an Enderman pet high level and a katana, which by this point you should be able to start making coins because you have combat capabilities. And by the way, if you actually need advice on money making methods now that you have equipment and can kill things, I'll leave another link in the cards to various mid-game money-making methods that you can use. But obviously, zealot farming would be probably the simplest if you just got a young dragon armor set. Maybe put ultimate Ys in your AOTE, just teleport it around, slap zealots until you got a summoning eye. It's about 1.8 million coins an hour, assuming 2 to 3 summoning eyes. But, you know, it's not really that meta anymore. I'm just mentioning it because it's simple and you don't really need any more equipment than what you have, plus young dragon armor, so take or leave that. If you can get yourself to Enderman Slayer tier 3, you would actually unlock the Juju shortbow, which I think you can do with this equipment if you play it smart. You might be able to do tier 2 Enderman to the point where you get the Juju recipe. If you grind enough coins through whether it be zealot farming or bazaar flipping or, I don't know, Devon Mines gold farming with mineral armor, Mines of Devon, you know, the place with the metal detectors, you can mine the gold. Anyways, once you've gotten the coins for Juju, you would actually probably be set to go to start dungeons, you know. Get yourself some crappy skeleton grunt armor, use it until Kata level 9, get what is it, skeleton grunt, wait, no, skeleton soldier, use that up to Kata 12, get skeleton master, use that until you get to floor 5, replace it with 3/4 shadow assassin zombie knight chestplate, all while using the Juju shortbow with the archer class or berserker. If someone else is going archer, it still works. And then you'll be able to get your way through dungeons in probably the least painful way possible. Obviously, using BLC, there's also some other very, very helpful features. For example, secret waypoints, secret guide waypoints display, freaking useful. And there's also, if you were to go into dungeon, there's a bunch of solvers for all of the little mini games in dungeons, all the puzzles. So there you go. And one little extra detail, if you want to progress quickly with Heart of the Mountain and mining, Pico Nimbus, buy one from the auction house for 300k for fast early game mining. Has a ton of mining speed. You don't even need a high mining level, but you don't need a mining level at all to use it. And it skips a lot of that early game struggle of using the friggin' bandaged mithril pickaxe, which is just a waste of time in my opinion. Just use the Pico Nimbus and do your daily commissions, no matter freaking what. From day one of your profile, do the mining commissions. And as soon as possible, actually, upgrade from doing the Dwarven's Mines 4 commissions per day to doing the Crystal Hollows commissions as soon as you can access it, because they give you more Heart of the Mountain XP. So there you go. Oh yeah, Mithril Golem pet with a 40% mining XP boost would be the obvious pet to use in that situation, using the Glaciite armor, getting your mining level up, getting more speed from that. To progress quickly in Jacob's contests and farming, I would say just get a Harvesting 5 Rookie Hoe, participate in wheat contests, hub swap, mine all the wheat in the hubs. Once you're done with that, maybe you've gotten a couple silver medals, a gold medal, whatever, you can do the same thing with an axe, head back to the Mushroom Desert. There's some spots inside of the mountain that give you mushrooms. and you might be able to get silver or gold even with no equipment whatsoever if you were to time it perfectly with a Jacob's contest for mushroom, and then obviously use the medals and the tickets to buy the equipment to do all the other crafts. And honestly, for the rest of the skills in the game, I made a tutorial on how to level up all your skills in the fastest time possible, but for the most part, there you go. You're up to date. You can basically play SkyBlock now. Hopefully by the end of doing everything in this tutorial, you're not going to be stumbling around wondering what the hell to do. I don't know how to make coins. How do I progress? Now you should have a pretty clear path ahead of you. Grind skills, slayers, mining, I don't know, whatever else SkyBlock has at that point. Well, anyways, if you enjoyed this video, jeez, I hope you did. This was a long one. It took like 4 hours to write the script, and it took 50 minutes to record this whole thing. And now Fez is gonna have to turn it into a video that's hopefully no longer than 30 minutes. We'll see about that. But a lot of work went into this tutorial. So if you enjoyed it, please leave a like. And if you are gonna just skip this whole thing and buy, you know, cookies from the thing, use code ThirtyVirus. I'm lagging out right now. But anyways, I guess that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.